Hello, and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's regular meeting of council for Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. My name is Kim Clark Baskin, and I'm your Deputy City Clerk. With us today, we have our sign language interpreter, Logan Showalter. The following is a list of legislation to be presented by Pittsburgh City Council. Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess presents Bill Number 2020, Resolution further amending Resolution 863 of 2018, effective January 1, 2019, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2019 capital budget and the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program, and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by amending various CDBG program line items, adding J.D. Edwards financial information, and authorizing a subsequent agreement for operational and administrative expenses on behalf of the residents of the City of Pittsburgh. Bill Number 2021, Resolution further amending Resolution 796 of 2013, effective December 2013, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2014 capital budget and the 2014 Community Development Block Grant Program, and approving the 2014 through 2019 Capital Improvement Program by reducing refinish gym floor by $64,072.33, splash zones by $20,146.47, and increasing ramp and public sidewalk program by $84,218.80. Bill Number 2022, Resolution further amending Resolution 858 of 2014, effective January 1, 2015, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2015 capital budget and the 2015 Community Development Block Grant Program by reducing emergency sheltering by $13.40 and increasing ramp and public sidewalk by $13.40. Bill Number 2023, Resolution further amending Resolution 816 of 2015, effective December 2015, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2016 capital budget by reducing park reconstruction by $10, rehabilitation by $10,000, and increasing ramp and public sidewalk by $10,010. Bill Number 2024, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Curtin and Hefner, LLP, 2005 South Easton Road, in an amount not to exceed $15,122.72 for professional legal services and expert advice regarding building owners and managers litigation. Bill Number 2025, Resolution authorizing the purchase of certain property by the City of Pittsburgh in lieu of eminent domain in order to advance city's proposed permanent closure of the Timberland Bridge. Councilwoman Deb Gross presents Bill Number 2026, Resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Little Kelpie in the amount of $19,000 for graphic design of the Greater Hazelwood Neighborhood Plan document. Bill Number 2027, Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh and the Department of City Planning to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development's Keystone Communities Program to provide funding for the Sawmill Run zoning study, and should the grant be awarded to DCED, are authorized to enter into agreements with DCED. The grant proposal includes an ask of $25,000 with a local match of $100,000 to be contributed by the City of Pittsburgh's 2020 capital budget. In the event the grant is awarded, this resolution provides for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $125,000 for this stated purpose. Councilman Daniel Lavelle presents Bill number 2035, Resolution amending Resolution number 507 of 2019, vacating a portion of Caldwell Street and portions of Our Way in the 3rd Ward, 6th Council District of the City of Pittsburgh by extending the expiration date of the payment from the property owners to the Treasury of the City of Pittsburgh from 60 days to 105 days from the effective date of the resolution, which was August 1st, 2019. This bill is sponsored by Councilman Daniel Lavelle. Councilman Corey O'Connor presents Bill number 2028, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the Office of Management and Budget to renew the non-exclusive license agreement with the Federal General Services Administration for the Veterans Affairs Highland Drive campus at 7180 Highland Drive for limited use and to conduct due diligence pursuant to the application approved by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Department of Justice to acquire the property for law enforcement and emergency management purposes. Bill number 2029, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 201 Arsenal Phase 2 residential land development project, which is located at 135 39th Street. Bill number 2030, Resolution adopting plan revisions to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the St. Peter's Residence Project, located at 500 Lockhart Street. Council President Bruce Krause presents Bill number 2031, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title IX, Zoning, Article 1, Section 902.03, Zoning Map, by changing from EMI, Educational Medical Institution, to UI, Urban Industrial, property with frontage on Jane Street, 20th Street, 21st Street, Mary Street, Edwards Way, and Harcum Way, all in the Allegheny County Block and Lot Systems, 17th Ward. This bill is sponsored by Council President Bruce Krause. Bill number 2032, Resolution appointing Kevin Paulus as Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Bill number 2033, Petition from the residents of the City of Pittsburgh requesting a public hearing before City Council relative to awarding reparations for the Black, African American, New African, Afro-descendant, etc., residents of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because of the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, and the continued systemic and structural oppression of white supremacy and economic justice. This petition is valid in accordance with the Home Rule Charter. And Bill number 2034. Communication from Michael Lamb, City Controller, submitting a fiscal audit of the City of Pittsburgh's Department of Public Safety, Bureau of Police Confiscated Narcotics Proceeds Trust Fund, and Empress Fund, dated August 5th, 2019. That concludes the reading of the legislation to be introduced by City Council. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of Pittsburgh City Council for today, Tuesday, September the 10th, 2019. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mrs. Harris, Mr. Lavelle, Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Kel-Smith.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Here.
6 members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And we ask that you would then remain standing for a moment of silence. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Our first order of business is proclamations. May I begin with you, Councilwoman Strasburger?
Sure.
Right.
Everyone here from Get Involved, please.
Hey, good morning.
So we're honored to have County Councilman Tom Baker here with his Get Involved winners we wanted to honor. Here, come on in. Squeeze in. Make sure everyone's up here. Get Involved, which I'll read a little bit about, is a really great initiative that was founded in 2008 to ensure that there are, the people who are making a difference in our neighborhoods and are actually getting involved and volunteering their time outside of work are honored, and to encourage more young people to be involved in their neighborhoods and their community. So whereas in 2008, the nonprofit Get Involved, Inc. was founded by dedicated community leader Allegheny County Councilman Tom Baker, and whereas Get Involved's mission is to provide leadership and development programs and initiatives that engage, energize, educate, and empower students, young professionals, and lifelong learners to make a positive difference in their communities and to become civically engaged. And whereas Get Involved's hope is that student leaders will smoothly transition into their careers through active community involvement, and whereas Get Involved inspires, educates, and springs interested participants into action by coordinating courses, events, and seminars focused on vital issues such as service, leadership, and philanthropy. And whereas Get Involved organizes service summits to bring together hundreds of students, young professionals, and community leaders to learn from keynote speakers about best practices and strategies to make a larger difference in the region. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize Councilman Tom Baker and Get Involved, Inc. for organizing this annual service summit focused on civic engagement that impacts the lives of thousands of individuals. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare September 10th, 2019 to be Get Involved, Inc. Service Summit Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you all. Congratulations.
So we have a number of we wanted to make sure that all of the winners, whose names I didn't read out loud, but we can make sure that they're recognized by Councilman Baker, everyone's going to get their own copy of the proclamation. So you'll have it, you can frame it, you can put it in your office, whatever. But you all deserve it for being such great examples for generations who are younger and older than you, for being present in your communities and doing such great work. So congratulations.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Strasburger. And we have a great group assembled here today of leaders in our community. I will say this is just thinking back to being in this room 10 years ago, and as we were getting ready for the first service summit, Councilman Bill Peduto at that point was the first person to have us down for this ceremony, and it's just been a labor of love, an awesome labor of love for these last 10 years. What matters is the good work that all of these great human beings are doing in our community to make a difference, and it's just been an incredible experience with Get Involved over these last 10 years. The Service Summit is our largest event of the year. We do have the quarterly Power Hour series. That is not a drinking event. That is about leadership and community and getting people together. We've had 70 of those over the years. We have had the Empowership Conference, and we've had 6 graduating classes from our Fast Track Community Leaders program through Get Involved. So it's just been fantastic. That being said, Thursday night is the big night. President Chris Howard, who, whatever you think you've achieved in this life, when you compare it to Chris Howard, even you, Evan Fraser, he's done some pretty amazing stuff, that Chris Howard. So he's the president of RMU. He's our keynote speaker on Thursday night. It's at Ace Hotel, so we actually moved it. It was at the Union Project Year 1 and 8 years of Carlow University. I know Corey was at that a few times and is a former honoree as well. So we're going to be at the Ace Hotel on Thursday night. Natalie Bensavenga, the scene column editor from the Post-Gazette, will be there. So to the honorees, you better, I mean, it's a stylish group, but you better come stylish on Thursday night, because we will have the scene editor from the Post-Gazette there with us. So it's really about all the honorees, so I would just ask them to introduce themselves. And the thing we do every year, if it's okay, Councilwoman and President Krause, just say your name, maybe where you work, and then your favorite thing that you were involved with. Evan Fraser, you've been on 30 nonprofit boards. This might be tough for you, so should we start with, we can start with Joel Gray, though, if that's easier. Yeah. Okay. All right, but these are the rising stars, literally, of our region, and it would be great, I think, for all of council to get to know them, and then all of you good people in the crowd as well to get to know them as well. And when they say the name, hopefully, Councilwoman Strasburger, if you want to hand them a proclamation.
Absolutely, and this is for...
Oh, that's for the... Okay, great.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Gray. I work for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And one of the fun things I get to do is spread our brand throughout the community of Pittsburgh. And then besides that, I sit on a nonprofit called Africa Book Bags, and we help to educate youth and empower them both here and in Africa, and try to connect them through missions trips. So thank you for this honor.
Thanks, Joel Gray. All right, Danielle.
Oh, boy. Hi, Danielle Bush. I work for Veterans Leadership Program. I am a veteran, and I enjoy working with veterans in the nonprofit.
I'm Sam Morant. I'm the co-founder of One Nation Mentoring. And honestly, that's the greatest thing and one of the best things that I can say that I've been involved with, is just being able to help the community and the youth we serve.
Hello, I'm Nelson Cooper IV. I work at PNC Financial Services Group. I'm involved with several nonprofit boards. I guess the thing I'm most proud of is being involved with the Pirates RBI program, which is reviving baseball in inner cities. Also with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Fame, Pump, different things there, but RBI really takes a cake for me.
Good morning. My name is Sierra Young, and I'm the Director of Equity and Inclusion at the Ellis School for Girls. And outside of teaching, my favorite thing to get involved in is teaching outdoor living skills to children of color.
Hi, I'm Ernest Rajacone. I work as a policy analyst in the Office of Equity for the administration of Mayor Bill Peduto. One of the favorite things I've been involved with has been my work with the Office of Community Affairs, where I've gotten to work in a variety of neighborhoods throughout the city and at a really grassroots level. So that's been great.
Giving honor to God and thanks to all of you, especially County Councilman Tom Baker, thank you. Evan Fraser, the Senior Vice President of Community Affairs with Highmark Health. I'm here representing, and I'll say that would be the organization I'm most excited about right now, which is the Advanced Leadership Initiative. It's an initiative focused on how do we build the African American executive leadership pipeline here in our region.
Hi,
everyone, Lindsay Powell, right across the hall in Mayor Peduto's office. A part of my job is making sure that neighborhoods stay vibrant, but something that keeps my heart full is working for Big Brothers Big Sisters. My little keeps me young and hip, and I really appreciate that relationship with her.
Good morning, Josiah Gilliam. I'm the My Brother's Keeper coordinator for the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. I serve on the board of Pump and Union Project, which brings me a lot of joy and fulfillment. But recently I've been involved with a mentoring program called Y Achievers, and we started with an initial cohort of 7th graders, and all of those students, who will be first generation college students, are starting their 9th grade year this year. So I'm particularly proud of them for that.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jaleesa Coffey. I'm the Director of Operations for Homewood Children's Village, and I would say that is probably one of my favorite things to do in Pittsburgh, is to be involved in helping students and families achieve greater in the Homewood neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alyssa P. Lyon. I'm the Sustainable Communities Director at Green Building Alliance, which is dedicated to the promotion of healthy buildings. I'm excited about a couple of things, but one of the things I'm excited about is being on the board of the local NAACP, which is historically engaged in leveraging opportunities for African American residents and communities. And I also enjoy chairing the Micro Enterprise Loan Committee for the URA, which is all about small businesses. So.
That's a pretty inspiring group of people, right? So we can give a big round of applause. And the theme of the summit is, don't be bored, be on a board, right? And it's different spellings, I know it's a little, but don't be bored, be on a board of directors, be on a young professional board. That's what this organization's all about. That's what Thursday night's all about. And thank you to these incredible people for being the perfect example of that thought process of not being bored in our region, always finding something positive to do to help out others, inspire others. That's what this is really all about. So congratulations to all of you.
Congratulations. Let's bring it in for a photo.
Congratulations. 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 How you doing? Good to see you. Congratulations. Hey, man, what's up? How you doing?
And then, not your read in the records, though. We'll do this later. Yeah.
All right. Can everyone from Shakespeare in the Parks please come up? Come on up. So I had the pleasure to join this group and many more audience attendees, audience members, for the performance of the all-female Julius Caesar in Frick Park this last Saturday. It was their first performance of that production, and I'm really excited to go back and actually see the full performance, but I was there to give a snippet of the proclamation, and to be there as they're celebrating their 15th anniversary and have just surpassed 15,000 audience members that they've reached in those years. So this is a big year for Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Parks. As someone who used to actually usher for a Shakespeare festival, an outdoor Shakespeare festival when I was a student in high school, this is just a really wonderful part of our theater fabric and arts fabric in the community. Whereas Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Parks has contributed to the rich cultural fabric of our city since 2005, nurturing our minds and souls with 15 seasons featuring 14 plays, 5 weeks of Will, and the world premiere of Supernatural Shakespeare, all showcasing more than 200 actors, directors, designers, and musicians. And whereas PSIP creates lively, accessible, imaginative Shakespeare productions so the bard's timeless words can resonate to further inform our worlds, the human condition, and ourselves. And whereas when actor and director Jennifer Tober moved to Pittsburgh from New York City, she envisioned a professional outdoor theater company in the Steel City that would again bring free Shakespeare to Pittsburgh residents, and founded Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Parks in 2005 after being inspired by the natural amphitheater at the bottom of Squirrel Hill's Frick Park. And whereas Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Parks provides valuable opportunities for the region's professional actors to perform in classical masterworks while inspiring fresh creative expression and appreciation of the arts for a diverse and grateful audience of all ages. And whereas the annual free-for-all opportunity in our beautiful city parks provides unique experiences that bring Pittsburghers closer together through the magic of storytelling, the power of words, and the inspiration of imagination. And whereas this year's first all-female production stages the political drama Julius Caesar at 3 different neighborhood parks, marking PSIP's 15th anniversary season and introducing new educational and audience initiatives, while audience members will surpass 15,000 this September. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby celebrate the significant impact of Jennifer Tober and recognizes the important contribution of Shakespeare in the Parks to the Pittsburgh community. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 to be Jennifer Tober and Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Park's 15th anniversary day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
You know, it's all about community. I was struck by the number of people who were there. They were with their families, they had kids, they had, you know, maybe a bottle of wine, whatever. They were just coming together for a bottle of pop, right? Yeah. And a plastic, yeah. And coming together and just celebrating the arts and also community in Frick Park on such a beautiful day. So that's what it's about as well, and I really appreciate that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Say a few words. Do I speak now?
Yes, please. Please. Anyone who'd like to say a few words.
Are you sure? We're actors, so we may be up here for quite a while. Oh, a few words. Okay. Thank you, Erica Strasburger, and everyone for having us today. And thank you to the city for our support. Outdoor Shakespeare companies and festivals are de rigueur in many world-class American cities, and we feel that Pittsburgh Shakespeare in the Parks, by educating, entertaining, bringing people of different backgrounds together in our beautiful city parks to experience timeless works with universal themes of Shakespeare's work really creates, we educate, we entertain, and we, above all, create community and peace. And we love doing that. We love bringing people together. And we love especially showing children from all backgrounds and all ages, showing them that they can aspire to be whatever they would like to be, either on stage or behind the scenes, without regard to gender, class, socioeconomic status, ability, things like that. So thank you so much. And I'd like to thank my board and friends and all the hundreds and hundreds of people who have worked through the years, oftentimes in a volunteer fashion, to make sure that this happens every year. So thank you to, I guess we're all going to introduce ourselves, or can I say their names? Ron and Erica and Helen and John and Lynette and Kat and Jonathan, who's here taking pictures, and all of our other board members and supporters and friends who aren't here. Did I forget anything? Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and go see the performance at 3 different locations. I also want to say that if you'd like to support the group, they have T-shirts that say "As Yins Like It," so that's one way to support the group.
You can find those on Cafe Press.
All right. So we'll take a photo.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Okay, this is my last one. It's the Erica Strasberger show today. So please, everyone from Three Rivers Rowing, this is a really, really big deal, and I'm so happy to be presenting this. Three Rivers Rowing has had a remarkable achievement this year, and so I wanted to honor them and two special members of Three Rivers Rowing in particular who will have proclamations read into the record. Whereas the Three Rivers Rowing Association is a membership organization serving people of all skill levels from a broad range of social and economic backgrounds, and whereas this organization is respected as a leader in the community rowing movement, and whereas their diverse programs have gained a national reputation for developing top-notch rowers, and whereas Ms. Audrey Lida and Ms. Angelina Miko are exemplary athletes and leaders on the Three Rivers junior rowing team, and whereas Ms. Lida and Ms. Miko hail from Shadyside and Point Breeze, respectively, and are exceptional representatives of District 8, and whereas on 2018 and 2019, Ms. Lida and Ms. Miko earned their medals in both the regional and national levels in the women's youth lightweight double. And whereas Ms. Lida and Ms. Miko became teammates in January 2019, where they would earn numerous medals together, highlighted by earning a gold medal at the 2019 Midwest Regional Championship, where they would go on to become national champions at the 2019 U.S. Rowing Youth National Championship in the world's youth lightweight double. And whereas this is the first national championship for their team, Three Rivers Rowing Association. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby celebrate the significant impact of Audrey Lida and Angelina Miko and recognizes the important contribution of the Three Rivers Rowing Association to the Pittsburgh community. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 to be Three Rivers Rowing Association National Champions Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion in a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Congratulations.
If you'd like to come up and say a few words, congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Matt Logue. I'm the Executive Director at Three Rivers Rowing Association. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Council for recognizing not just our athletes that achieved so much in such a short period of time, but the Three Rivers Rowing Association as a whole. Our mission is to make rowing accessible to anybody that wants to come and experience our waters, try out our sport, and get fit, have fun, and have a community. We're thrilled to offer programming from middle schooler to our oldest active racer is actually 87 years old and everything in between. Our first row program and adaptive rowing programs continue to grow and foster every year, and we are very grateful for the support of the City of Pittsburgh, the entire council, and we take great pride when our crews get to travel regionally, nationally, and globally to represent this great city. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
I'm kind of quiet, so I'll keep this short. I'd just like to thank the City of Pittsburgh for acknowledging our accomplishment this year and my teammates and anyone who's supported me along the way. So thank you for that, and my coaches as well, Tim and Matt, but Matt's not here, and my partner Angie, but she's at Wisconsin right now. So thank you.
Okay, Councilman Burgess. Morning, Councilman.
Morning, how you doing?
How are you?
We'd ask that Dr. Sheila Johnson Hunt would please come forward. I'm going to read the proclamation, then I'll say some things that are not on this paper. Whereas Dr. Sheila L. Johnson is an ordained Baptist minister, songwriter, arranger, choral conductor, recording artist, and college professor. A native of Dayton, Ohio, she holds a bachelor's degree in music and a master's degree with emphasis in counseling from Western Kentucky University. Earned doctorate of philosophy from the University of Pittsburgh and an earned doctorate of ministry from Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. And whereas Dr. Johnson has served as the minister of music at First Baptist Church Penn Hills and Second Baptist Church Leechburg for over 30 years. And whereas Dr. Johnson has many original compositions and arrangements presented at the Gospel Music Workshop of America, New Music Seminar, and International Mass Choir, Hampton University's Ministers Conference and Music Guild, National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated, National NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People Convention, National Lot Carry Foreign Mission Convention, and whereas in 2018, her 8th recording, a single entitled Freedom, debuted on the Billboard Hot Singles chart at number 9 and was number 1 for 6 weeks on the international charts, including England, Uganda, and Scotland, just to name a few. And whereas Dr. Johnson, executive producer of the recording, First Baptist Penn Hills Alive in Worship, Volume 1, and is the founder and director of the community choir, Dr. Sheila Johnson and Young People for Christ. And now therefore be resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Dr. Sheila Johnson for spreading the gospel through song, and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 7th, 2019, to be Dr. Sheila L. Johnson's Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Great. May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Dr. Johnson, congratulations. Oh, great.
So let me say what's not on this paper. Dr. Johnson and I are very, very close friends. We have worked together. She has been a mentor to my son, who is a preacher, and to my daughter, who is a singer. Dr. Johnson is expert not only in music, but is also an expert in educational programming. She's also an expert in women's issues. She's also an expert in church stuff and other talents that are too numerous to name. She has 2 very successful sons, and there are moments where someone has great accomplishments, but there are very few times when a person is as kind and as loving inside as they are great on the outside. And in this case, Dr. Sheila Johnson is a lovely, wonderful, kind woman whose kindness and generosity inside is even greater than her academic and professional skills outside. So congratulations, Sheila. You already know I love you. Here's your proclamation, if you say a few words.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say it's a privilege to live in Pittsburgh. And secondly, I would like to thank the council for this recognition. Most of all, I thank God for the gift of music that he gave me, but I also thank him for placing me in Pittsburgh so that I could create other music and it be authentically Pittsburgh, black and gold, and to be able to share that not only with the region and the nation, but the world. And for that, I am very, very grateful. And I'm grateful to you, and I'm grateful to this community, because we have so much to be grateful for in this greater Pittsburgh area, all types of talents. And I just thank God for not only music, but working with single parents and displaced homemakers, and working with teens in terms of mentoring. It's just a place where you can really make a difference in the lives of people, and I'm just grateful for that.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, we have a number to be read into the record. We have one from Councilman O'Connor. We have two from Councilwoman Strasburger and one from myself.
Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Sunday, September 8th, 2019 to be Mary Ann McHarg Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Council President Kraus presents, whereas recovery from substance use disorders is possible through a variety of treatment resources and recovery support programs, and whereas millions of people across the United States are living happy, healthy, and productive lives in recovery, and whereas a community of recovery is beneficial to overcoming misconceptions and helping people achieve long-term recovery, and whereas on September 14th, 2019, the 4th annual Pittsburgh Recovery Walk will gather over 2,000 individuals in downtown Pittsburgh to celebrate the process and beauty of recovery from substance use disorder through a parade, music, and speakers. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare the month of September 2019 to be Addiction Recovery Month in the City of Pittsburgh and recognizes Kelly Kelly, Stephanie Klipp, and Kathy Stewart for their extraordinary efforts to support recovery in our region.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion and a second, please? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Was that all? Yes. And Councilman, you have a will of counsel, correct?
I do.
Thank you. Would you like to do that now, Councilman?
You want it read in its entirety?
Would you please?
Okay. Councilman Coghill and Councilwoman Darlene Harris presents, whereas the majority of private sector workers in the United States are covered by health and safety regulations under the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, and whereas the number of workers killed on a job in the United States has declined from approximately 14,000 in 1970, when OSHA was created, to 4,674 in 2009, despite the fact that overall employment more than doubled during that period. And whereas local and state government employees, including those in the City of Pittsburgh, are generally not covered by OSHA, even though they perform similar job functions and are exposed to similar risks as private sector employees. And whereas the Jake Schwab Workers' Safety Bill would extend protection similar to those provided for under OSHA to local and state government employees in Pennsylvania at no or minimal cost to local governments. And whereas Jake Schwab had worked as a mechanic for the Erie Metropolitan Transit Authority for 27 years when he was killed on a job by an exploding airbag. And whereas at the time of his death, Mr. Schwab was working on an unfamiliar bus from another agency using tools that were inappropriate for the job because the proper tools were not available and there had been no safety training in his garage for over 9 years. And whereas Mr. Schwab's death did not even warrant an OSHA investigation because he was a public employee. And whereas if Mr. Schwab had been covered by OSHA, health and safety regulations may have prevented his untimely death. And whereas preventable deaths like Mr. Schwab's are particularly tragic, especially for the loved ones they leave behind. And whereas the public servants who have dedicated their careers to the community deserve the same health and safety protections as their colleagues in the private sector. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh urges the Pennsylvania General Assembly to support the Jake Schwab's Worker Safety Bill, House Bill 1082, in order to provide worker safety protections to employees across the Commonwealth.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
And may I have a second? In discussion, Councilman?
No, I just wanted to say thank my colleagues for co-sponsoring this. This is important. You know, if you really pay attention to the statistics in there, you know, they're overwhelming. So to have these protections for public workers across the state will be a healthy thing for everybody, and of course improve safety across the board. So they deserve same protections as the private sector does.
Agreed. Thanks, Councilman.
And for anybody who is interested, we're going to have a press conference at 12 noon on the portico tomorrow with Allegheny County Council Labor Chair Darren Kelly and others.
Great. Thanks, Councilman. I thought there were. Thank you. Councilwoman, did you wish comment?
Yes. It is really scary to look out the window and just see some of these workers even trying to clean windows. I remember one gentleman falling to his death over at Sophotech. And it's very sad that this hasn't been in place years and years ago. But you have to start somewhere, and now is the time. So,
thanks,
thank you.
Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Okay. Without further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. Councilman and Councilwoman, thank you. We do have two more proclamations to be read into the record from Councilwoman Strasburger.
Councilwoman Strasburger presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 to be Angelina Miko Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilwoman Strasburger also presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 to be Audrey Lydia Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. Thank you. That concludes the proclamation portion of the council meeting and takes us into public comment. Those here that wish to speak before City Council today, we ask that you would please begin by giving your name and the neighborhood in which you reside for our public record. I would like to remind everyone that our rules of council clearly state that comment is limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are at this time or could at another time come before this council. We will not permit profanity. We will maintain order at all times. When you come to the podium, we ask that you begin by giving your name and the neighborhood in which you reside for a public record. Green light will indicate the start of your 3 minutes. When the yellow light comes on, you'll have 1 minute to summarize your thoughts. When the red light comes on, your time will have expired. May we have our first speaker, please? Okay, may we have our first speaker, please? Okay. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Bentley. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Morning, Mr. President, members of council. Mark Bentley, Senior, 14 Foster Square, of course, former member of the Pittsburgh Public Schools, 30 years as an active member of Allegheny County Democratic Committee person and founder and chair of the Pittsburgh Public Schools nationally recognized Take a Father to School Day, and a father and also I'm a grandfather. I say all of those things, Mr. President, members of council, to tell you that I'm here to tell you I've been accused of a lot of things and I've been called a lot of things, but I'm here to publicly say what I am not. Mr. President, and of course many of you may be aware of that in January I was terminated from the City of Pittsburgh, worked over 30 years, but I was forced to sign an agreement if I wanted my job back, stating that I am an abuser of drugs and alcohol. Never ever in my life have I ever been accused of any of those things. This contract is called the Last Chance Agreement that is used today by the Pittsburgh Public Works Department. And the only way to be able to provide for my family, I had to sign this. I was given 1 day to sign. I refused to sign, but then I signed under duress because I needed to work. I was terminated again. I'm here to tell you it is a bad practice. It is a bad policy. I'm not asking for any favors. I'm asking you to look into this, get a legal opinion. How many employees have been railroaded over the last 10 years for signing this agreement? Yes, there are some that this applies to, but I can stand here to tell you all African Americans are not violent. I never hit, hurt, nor harmed anyone. I'm here ready and willing to work. I am not a substance abuser, and I am not an alcoholic. And so I'm here today. I'm embarrassed to say these kinds of things for all the service that I've given this city, and to be able to have to sign something like this. I am asking you, as a member of council, to just look into this. After you look into it, ask a couple of questions. Where's the oversight for Public Works? Who follows up on the decisions that the legal departments make? And then finally, after you determine that this is not a correct document or it needs to be reevaluated, that you would allow me to get back to work and to begin to provide for my family. Once again, I am just embarrassed to say that I'm anywhere associated with anything violent and anything dealing with substance abuse with over 30 years of services. Thank you very much. I do have a packet here that I can leave with you. It's just only 3 documents. The documents that I received an email saying, if you want your job, you better sign this. I have a copy of the decision by the civil service that I won, said full reinstatement, back pay, but sign this document. And then I have a copy of the actual last chance agreement. All of us
Thanks,
on
Mr.
drug
Bentley.
abusers, sir.
Mr. Bentley, if you'll leave that with the clerk, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, please. Okay, good morning, Ms. Brown.
I don't know why he says it and he knows. My name is Yvonne F. Brown, and I came today because I wanted to speak to you, Mr. Cohill. I see that you made an announcement, or that you agreed that you're going to make a park out there in Larimer named after Costa. Is there some kind of park you're making after Costa? What's after Costa? Oh, well, okay. I can't take up my time, but since I can't take up my time, I'm going to speak for Mark Brentley. Mark Brentley has suffered. He got fired on the radio one time. They said, what are you going to do about Mark Brentley? He said, he's fired. And I heard when Mark called, he was on his break, and he said his wife had called. She was upset that he was fired on the radio. See, Costa, in the first place, he put a fingerprint machine that they had to take and be able to get in the building for Mark. The union told him he had to take that machine and get rid of it. He said, no, he's going to keep it. When he left here, the machine was still here. We had to pay $12,000 for that machine that he kept. They made him the head of when they was having the Bloomfield festival. I said, yeah, we paid $12,000 for him to stand in front of you because he never paid it. Costa took and called Miss Matthews, Ethel Lee Matthews, at 7:30 at night screaming, you told BJ on me. When I came down and told, he said, Sheila said, don't answer. Yes, I did call. He said, but I didn't holler at her. Do you understand? Costa was the one when they found the baby doll, black baby doll, hung. They brought it back in the building. And after he left, that black baby doll was hung real high. I believe Costa was on it. Costa don't care for the black people. And he purposely targeted Mark Brentley, and we know it. He ran down the hall and swore at me because I went to the ICA board and said he was not qualified. They had him as the supervisor in 3 positions. He only had a BA. He did not have a master's. My husband's cousin went for the job. He had a master's in urban redevelopment. They put him over Parks and Recreation. They put Costa, who had just ran a garage, over the park, over 3 positions. Now, check it. I'm not lying, because we were saying he wasn't qualified for any. And you remember I went to the Housing Authority and told at that time.
Thank you. May we have our next speaker, please? Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Rogers. I live in the area of Pittsburgh that's the borderline between Shadyside and East Liberty. And I have more of a question than complaints about anything, but I know there had been some discussion about creating a review board for the police outside the so-called Citizens Police Review Board, and I understand that that hasn't gone anywhere, at least not at this time. And I would just like to say that it would be nice if some information could be provided to the public as to what options we might have if we have a complaint about a police officer, whether a specific incident or just in general about the behavior of police officers. I've had to be in contact with the police 2 times over the last 6 years where I called them for specific incidents, and I had derogatory or unflattering comments made to me in regard to my reason for calling the police. One of them was when I was sexually assaulted by someone and fortunately was stopped before I was raped, and the police said to me, it's too bad he didn't get any. Another time was when we had called the police in a landlord-tenant matter in which our rent was paid, but the landlord wanted us out so her son could move in, and the policeman there said in front of other neighbors of mine that I had learned how to scam the system and force them to go through the eviction process in order to get me out. And this was said with neighbors around me, and that was not the case. The policeman had no idea what the situation was, but he spoke in what I thought an ignorant manner towards me. I have contacted in the past the Citizens Police Review Board, and nothing was done. I have contacted the Office of Municipal Investigation, and nothing was done. So I would just think it would be good if the City Council could put forth some information on other areas, other people or other procedures or whatever that you can go through in order to get these types of problems addressed, because I'm beginning to understand now why sometimes people don't call the police. Because if you call the police and you're treated like that, and I'm not somebody who calls the police frequently, my contact with police is usually saying hello to the off-duty policeman at Giant Eagle. That's my usual contact with them. So it would be nice to know what steps I could take so that somebody would at least talk to these officers and say, this is not how we are supposed to conduct ourselves with the public, especially when this was not a nonviolent situation in either case. There's no reason for me to be treated in such a manner. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
My name is Philip. Thank you guys for being here. Most of you people know who I am. There's a lot of porn videos out of me that Mr. Jan Hall and Mr. Brown Hall have made, fake porn videos. Just as the Pittsburgh police, they refused to, even going around showing people saying it's me on here. I've been beat up for 2 years straight, handcuffed, beat up, knocked out, left in a hospital for dead. Went to Apollo's office with videos. By the time I left his office, made it onto the bus, the videos are gone. I made copies, friends of mine made copies, put it out on the internet. Mr. Corey knows me. He's tried to help me out a few times on these kind of matters. Mr. Jan Hall and Brown Hall have made my life miserable since I turned him in for making $1.2 million off of you guys, off the city of Pittsburgh, ripping you guys off. Using Pittsburgh police and also drug task force, I do have evidence and videos of this, drug mules for Mr. Jan Hall and Brown Hall. Took it down to the DA's office. It was gone before I even left. I made videos of it. I stuck it on the internet. Young white police officers handcuffed me for 2 years, and nothing has been done. Because of Mr. Jan Hall and Brian Hall, Mr. Tim Cross from the ADA's office, which the police says does not work there. Few times I've called, other people have called, they answer the phone, he has the desk there, he has his own number. Nothing has been done. And this has been going on since I turned him in for ripping off the city, making $1.2 million off of you people. And I just want to know, where and how am I supposed to go with this? I've been to the Citizens Police Review Board, no help. OMI won't help. They got fake videos of me saying that I'm drunk. They won't take no breathalyzer from me. They won't take no blood from the hospitals from me. And every time I go to the hospital, they try to put me in a white jacket. I just had a stem stuck in my heart July 19th. I had a bad heart for having heart attacks, which Mr. Jan Hall, Brian Hall, and their associates paid the doctors at UPMC not to tell me about. And this is really hard on me. I've been trying to keep it together and go by you guys' rules, and it's just not working. I have FBI from Boston, Chicago, and DC helping me out with this matter right now. So I just want to know, where am I supposed to go with this? That's all I'm asking. I have done nothing wrong to nobody or nothing. These people have raped and killed kids. I've had witnesses of this. I have videos of these kind of things. I even helped bust them for child porn. Mr. Brown Hall Jr. is doing a stretch for his daddy and his brother. And where am I supposed to go with this, since you people won't do nothing? DA's office, ADA's office won't do nothing. Please, I really like to know. The only one seems to hear me is Corey here, and he's been helping me out a little bit, haven't you? And I ain't saying a lie. Thank you.
Philip, thank you, Philip. Okay, may we have our next speaker, please? Yes, please. Come up, sir. Okay, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you all. My name is Khalid Rahim. I live in the neighborhood of Manchester. I'm from the community of the North Side. 1316 or 1326 Sheffield Street, 15233. I'm calling, I had submitted a petition requesting a public hearing, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to briefly let people know what the public hearing that is being requested concerns. And it concerns a very serious issue, a matter for the black population and the black community throughout the city of Pittsburgh, and that's regarding reparations. So quickly, a public hearing regarding reparations for the black residents of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because of the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, and the continued systemic and structural oppression of white supremacy and economic injustice. 2, a formal acknowledgement of an apology for such historical and contemporary harm due to slavery, Jim Crow, structural inequality, so forth and so on. And 3, and this is most important, a full disclosure of any and all such institutions in the Pittsburgh area, regardless of historical origins, such as banks, insurance companies, transportation companies, for example, railroads and the ships, finance companies, businesses, for example, extraction as well as manufacturing, which would include U.S. Steel, colleges, universities, medical facilities, labor unions, so forth and so on, that participated in and benefited from the transatlantic slave trade and the legacy of Jim Crow, as well as what we now refer to as mass incarceration, all the way up into the contemporary issues and problems around police brutality and misconduct. We really want to call upon the city of Pittsburgh to convene a public hearing and to really start the process of seriously looking into reparations and what reparational justice would look like for the thousands of residents who currently live here within the city of Pittsburgh. So I want to thank you for your time, and I hope this will be seriously considered and not just looked upon as a ploy or some political opportunity for those who are plugged into the 2020 presidential election, however you may be plugged in. This is a very serious issue for Black America overall, and a very serious issue for blacks here within the city. There have already been studies which indicate that in order for black people today in 2019 to at some point catch up to the white middle class, it would take us an additional 100 to 150 years. We cannot wait that long. Our grandchildren cannot wait that long. So please take this under serious consideration. Thank you again for your time.
Thanks, Mr. Rahim. Hey, Dr. Miller, good morning.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Beltsuver in Lawrenceville. Global Intelligence Society candidate for President of the United States 2020, cgsii.rlm.globalintelligence@gmail.com, 24/7 is my email. Founder, Rainbow Enterprises, 1985. The rainbow is a global symbol. It doesn't just belong to LGBTQI people. From the City of Pittsburgh News Network and the Global Intelligence and Information Service, founded by me, 2010 and 2015. Lawrenceville CLP is showing the public movie on at public libraries on the 21st of September at 2 p.m. The Lawrenceville United telephone number is 412-802-7220, and the Lawrenceville Corporation is 412-621-1616. A concern of council is councilor attendance at city council meetings. Regarding Ms. Deborah Gross, representative of District 7 for Each year, 1 January through 31 December 2014 to 2018, Ms. Gross attended a minimum of 50 meetings, and so a total of 250. For January through August 2019, the min is 20, so the min composite total was 270. On 17 July 2016, Ms. Gross attempted to interrupt my Pittsburgh City Council public comment by loudly talking to another citizen 5 feet to my right, stopped only by that citizen. As far as I and the Committee for Legislative Supervision, founded by me in 2011, are aware, Ms. Gross attempted to interfere with the presentation of no other citizen during Pittsburgh City Council public comment 2014 to 2019. 1 out of 270, out of a minimum of 400 total. The fact that Ms. Gross interfered with the PC of only one citizen, I think shows bias by Ms. Gross against that citizen, which is myself. This public action by public official Ms. Deborah Gross, representative for District 7, offers a rainbow of meanings. 1, an unethical act for which she has never apologized to this citizen. 2, an act violating any citizen's civil rights generally. 3, an act violating this citizen's right to free speech specifically. 4, an occasion for the adult Pittsburgh resident citizen to pursue censure within the Pittsburgh government framework. 5, an opportunity for the citizen to seek legal civil monetary damages, $10 to $5, for constriction of freedom of speech against the District 7 representative individually. And 6, an opportunity for the citizen to take legal action against the council, collectively for the same reason. You can stop this. You need to contact me, Ms. Gross.
Okay, Dr. Miller, thank you. May we have our next speaker, please? Is there anyone else wishing to speak before City Council this morning? Okay, seeing no further speakers, we'll close the public comment portion of the council meeting, and we will proceed into presentation of papers. Our first committee is our Committee on Finance and Law. Our chair is Councilman Burgess.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 2020, resolution further amending resolution number 863, adopting and approving the 2019 capital budget and the 2019 CDBG program and 2019 through 2024 capital improvement program by amending various CDBG program line items, adding J.D. Edwards financial information, and authorizing a subsequent agreement for operation, administrative expenses, maintenance, purchase of equipment, and or rehabilitation of neighborhood facilities on behalf of the residents of the city. Bill number 2021, resolution further amending resolution number 796, resolution adopting and approving the 2014 capital budget, the 2014 Community Development Block Grant Program, and approving the 2014 through 2019 Capital Improvement Program by reducing refinished gym floor by $64,072.33, splash zones by $20,146.47, and increasing ramp and public sidewalk program by $84,218.80. Bill number 2022, resolution further amending resolution number 858 by reducing emergency sheltering by $13.40 and increasing ramp and public sidewalk by $13.40. Bill number 2023, resolution further amending resolution number 816 by reducing park reconstruction by $10, pool rehabilitation by $10,000, and increasing ramp and public sidewalk by $10,010. Bill number 2024, resolution approving the issuing of a warrant in favor of Curtin and Hefner in an amount not to exceed $15,122.72 for professional legal services and expert advice regarding building owners and manager litigation. Bill number 2025, resolution authorizing the purchase of certain property by the city in lieu of eminent domain in order to advance city's proposed permanent closures of Timberland Bridge.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Coghill, our Chair of Urban Recreation.
Mr. President,
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 2037, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855 by decreasing Fairhaven Greenway Task Force by $25,740 and adding Land Force in the same amount of $25,740 and to further clear completed projects. Bill number 2038, resolution further amending resolution number 719, providing for an agreement for various projects in connection with the Neighborhood Needs Program in Council District 4, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof in order to enter into contract with Land Force in the amount of $25,740 for work performed at the Fairhaven Greenway Task Force.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman.
Yes, I'd like a motion to waive Rule 8 on 2037 and 2038.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Thank you, Councilman. Bills 2037 and 2038 will then appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Councilwoman Gross, our Chair of Land Use and Economic Development. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 2026, resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Little Kilpie in the amount of $19,000 for graphic design of the Greater Hazelwood Neighborhood Plan document. Bill number 2027, resolution author.
Madam
I'm
Clerk,
sorry.
I did not hand in 2027.
Right. Nope, the Councilwoman
Just
wishes
one.
to only
Sorry.
introduce 2026.
Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman.
Yes, Mr. President, also I'd like to, a motion to waive Rule 8 on 2026 so that it could appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda.
Thank you, Councilwoman. May I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have discussion? And seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Thank you, Councilwoman. 2026 will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda.
President.
Councilwoman Harris, our Chair of Human Resources.
No new papers, Mr. Host.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Lavelle, our Chair of Public Safety Services. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 2035, resolution amending resolution number 507, vacating a portion of Caldwell Street and portions of Our Way in the 3rd Ward, 6th Council District of the city by extending the expiration date of the payment from the property owners to the Treasury of the city from 60 days to 105 days from the effective date of the resolution, August 1st of 2019.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman O'Connor, our Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 2028, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Office of Management and Budget to renew the non-exclusive license agreement with the Federal General Services Administration for the Veterans Affairs Highland Drive campus at 7180 Highland Drive for limited use and to conduct due diligence pursuant to the application approved by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Department of Justice to acquire the property for law enforcement and emergency management purposes. Bill number 2029, resolution adopting plan revisions to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 201 Arsenal Phase 2 residential land development project located at 135 39th Street. Bill number 2030, resolution adopting plan revisions to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the St. Peter's Residence project located at 500 Lockhart Street. Bill number 2036, resolution amending resolution number 448, authorizing the city to enter into an agreement to execute the Alcosan Service Agreement Amendment by and among the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority, the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, the Western Westmoreland Municipal Authority, the North Huntingdon Township Municipal Authority, the Township of North Huntington, the Penn Township Sewer Authority, and the Township of Penn regarding the Cavettsville, Arizara area.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 2036, I'd like to waive the rules of council. This is actually a bill we already passed a couple months ago. There's a technical change that the law department requested. So motion to waive the rules on 2036.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second. Do we have discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Thank you, Councilman. 2036 will also appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Councilwoman Cale Smith, our Chair of Public Works Services.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilwoman Strasburger, our Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. The Chair has one paper for introduction. Madam Clerk.
Council President Kraus presents Bill number 2031, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title IX zoning Article 1 by changing from EMI, Educational Medical Institution, to UI, Urban Industrial Properties with frontage on Jan Street, 20th Street, 21st Street, Mary Street, Edwards Way, and Harcum Way in the 17th Ward.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I ask someone to make a motion to waive the rules so that this bill may also appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda?
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second, just very brief discussion. This involves a zoning change that affects Southside Hospital. It needs to be sent to the Planning Commission for review and recommendation, and this just expedites the process. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? 2031 will also appear then on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. I have one appointment. Madam Clerk, if I may. Thank you.
Bill number 2032, resolution appointing Kevin Paulus as the Director of the Office of Management and Budget.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This does require council approval. Councilwoman Harris.
Yes, did we interview yet?
We did not. This is just
Motion
being
to
introduced.
interview, please.
Okay, we have a motion to interview. May I have a second, please?
Second.
We have a second. Do we have discussion on the desire to interview Mr. Paulus to be Director of OMB? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. We will hold him for interview and schedule that as timely as possible. I do have a petition from the residents of the city of Pittsburgh, which has been shown to be valid.
Bill number 2033, petition from the residents of the city requesting a public hearing before City Council relative to awarding reparations for the black residents of the city because of the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, and the continued systematic and structural oppression of white supremacy and economic injustice. The petition is valid in accordance with the Home Rule Charter.
Madam Clerk, what's the proper motion for this, please? Motion to hold for public hearing? Okay, I need a motion to hold for public hearing, please.
So move.
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions? We'll hold for public hearing. Next, I have a communication from our Controller Lamb that I'll need a motion to receive and file, please.
Bill number 2034, communication from Michael Lamb, City Controller, submitting a fiscal audit of the City of Pittsburgh Department of Public Safety Bureau of Police confiscated narcotics proceeds trust fund and impress fund dated August 5th, 2019.
May I have a motion to receive and file, please?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions. Motion passes. Finally, under unfinished business, I do have a confirmation from Ms. Johnson to be a member of the Housing Opportunity Fund, and we interviewed last Wednesday. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Bill number 1925, resolution appointing Ethel Johnson to serve as a member of the Housing Opportunity Fund Advisory Board for a term to expire April 30th, 2020.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. May I have a second? May I have a second? And we have discussion with Councilwoman Cale Smith.
I just want to thank the administration for putting some of the folks
She was wonderful.
that they have put on. The West
Yeah.
End now has 3 representatives, including myself, on that housing
Great.
opportunity, on the Housing Opportunity Fund Board. So I just want to really thank the administration for making sure the West End was heard and that we have a voice.
Okay. Then we have a motion and a second with discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none. Ms. Johnson is now a member of the Housing Opportunity Fund Advisory Board. That concludes unfinished business, takes us into reports of committee for final action, and we begin with Councilman Burgess, our Chair of Finance and Law. Thanks, Councilman.
Anyway, and then I want to
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 2014, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for September 4th, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1935, resolution further amending resolution number 863 by reducing and increasing various line items funded from the CDBG grant, Emergency Solutions Grant, Housing Opportunities for Person with AIDS Program, and Home Investment Partnership. Bill number 1936, resolution authorizing the agreements with various community organizations for operational, administrative expenses, maintenance, purchase of equipment, and/or rehabilitation of neighborhood facilities on behalf of the residents of the city at a cost not to exceed $1,150,000. Bill number 1947, resolution authorizing pursuant to Chapter 210 of the City Code, the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to accept a donation from Highmark Health Allegheny Health Network for trauma gauze totaling an estimated value of $22,000. Bill number 1980, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855 by transferring $5,000 from District 6 Neighborhood Initiative to the Housing Authority of the city for gym equipment and a fitness and mentoring program in Allegheny dwellings within Council District 6 neighborhood needs. Bill number 1981, resolution further amending resolution number 493 by transferring $5,000 from District 6 neighborhood initiatives to the Housing Authority of the city Allegheny dwellings in Council District 6 neighborhood needs. Total cost of all projects is not to exceed $130,802.79.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of these bills under our Finance and Law Committee. Is there further discussion on any of the bills? Then seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called, and those opposed will vote no. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Aye. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Mrs. Kel-Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills having received the legally required number of votes have finally passed. Next, we have our Committee on Public Safety Services. Our chair is Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle. Thanks, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 2015, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for September 4, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1954, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of public safety to enter on behalf of the city into a professional services agreement with Wright Academy, LLC, for services in relation to police leadership training activities at an overall cost not to exceed $39,520.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You have heard the reading and the title of this bill under Public Safety Services Committee. Do we have further discussion on the bill? Okay, seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Aye. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kel-Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. Next, we have our Committee on Public Works Services, and our chair is Councilwoman Teresa Kel-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Kel-Smith presents Bill number 2016, report of the Committee on Public Works for September 4th, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1961, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement between the city and ATC Group Services, LLC, for architectural and engineering design services related to the stormwater management and renovation of the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police firing range at a cost not to exceed $369,260. Bill Bill number 1962, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement between the city and Buckhorn Architect for architectural and engineering design services related to the renovation of the former Thaddeus Stevens School for use by the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police Special Deployment Division for a not-to-exceed amount of $973,595.22. Bill number 1963, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with Duquesne Light Company in order to erect, install, and use an underground electrical system and associated apparatus upon the city's property at the Forest Street Division on Stanton Avenue in Highland Park for the purpose of electrical and/or telecommunications services. Bill number 1965, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement with the PA Department of Community and Economic Development Multi-Modular Transportation Fund Program, should the grant be awarded by DCED, to provide funding for the South 21st Street Complete Green Street project. The grant proposal includes the ask of $1,578,725 with a local match of $473,618 to be contributed by the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. In the event the grant is awarded, this resolution provides for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $2,052,343 for this stated purpose. Bill number 1967, resolution amending resolution number 301, providing for a contract or agreement for the design, repairs, maintenance, improvement, emergencies, and/or the purchase of materials, equipment, and supplies in connection with the Penn Avenue Reconstruction Phase 2 project, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $500,000, to increase the funding amount to $732,626.61, and alter the funding source, now being further amended to increase the funding to accommodate a letter of amendment to the reimbursement agreement amount not to exceed $738,626.61. Bill number 1968, resolution amending and supplementing resolution number 40, providing for a contract and/or agreements for the design and replacement of the Charles Anderson Bridge, and providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and providing for the payment of costs thereof not to exceed $965,794.03, to add further budget authority for a letter of amendment to the original reimbursement agreement not to exceed a total of $967,044.03.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We've heard the reading and the title of the bills under our Committee on Public Works Services. Further discussion begins with Councilwoman Cale Smith.
I just want to thank the administration for their work on the Thaddeus Stevens building. This is in Elliott. A couple years ago, we've had several closed school buildings, and we've had several churches all closed all at the same time. And to date, this past week, we just found out that Joey Porter and his wife purchased the Holy Innocents properties in Sheridan, and another person had purchased the church itself to make the church a museum. Joey Porter and his wife are going to open a community center and resource center and some other things for the disability community as well in Sheridan. So with that last piece of property being sold, every one of our closed school buildings and churches are now repurposed or will be repurposed. The Thaddeus Stevens building in Elliott is, it will be millions of dollars worth of investment in that area that hasn't seen investment since they redid the Overlook years ago. And the Townsend Park right next door is getting almost $1 million renovation. So for the first time in decades, Elliott is seeing investments and in the millions, and so is Sheridan. And so I'd like to really thank the administration because they have really made our district too. Oftentimes people will say the West End's the forgotten part. Well, you can't say that anymore because millions of dollars are literally going into the community now, and this is just the beginning. So I really want to thank everyone for their work on this, but especially the administration for making the West End a priority to them. So,
thanks, Councilwoman. Appreciate that. Okay, without further comment, these bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills then, having received the legally required number of votes, are finally passed. Next, we have our Committee on Land Use and Economic Development. Our chair is Councilwoman Deborah Gross.
President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Keep that sign for you.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 2017, Report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for September 4, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1949, Resolution providing for an agreement with the Jewish Healthcare Foundation to provide administration and operating expenses, housing, and housing-related supportive services to persons with HIV/AIDS and their families at a total cost not to exceed $1,071,974. Bill number 1950, Resolution providing for an agreement with the Urban League of Pittsburgh for the implementation, administration of the Housing Counseling Program and related costs in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills under our Land Use and Economic Development Committee. Is there further discussion on either of these bills? Then seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills having received the legally required number of votes have finally passed. Next, we have our Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management. Our chair is Councilwoman Erica Strasburger.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Strasburger presents Bill number 2018, Report of the Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Assets Management for September 4, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1969, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title I, Administrative Article 11, Human Resources, and Title IV, Public Places and Properties, Telecommunications, Cable Communication, in order to remove the Pittsburgh Cable Communications Advisory Committee in all mentions in City Code. Bill number 1970, Resolution amending Resolution number 456, authorizing an amendment to the existing rooftop license agreement between the city and 600 GS Prop LP in order to extend the term through May 5th, 2023, at a cost not to exceed $228,559.49. Bill number 1972, Resolution amending Resolution number 526, which authorizes the city to extend a professional services agreement with Straight Grant LLC for software services relating to the eProperties Plus profiling system by a term of 1 year at an additional cost not to exceed $31,951.11. Bill number 1973, Resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Finance to enter into a maintenance agreement with OPEX Corporation for maintenance services related to the Falcon Red document scanning workstation. Total cost would be a one-time payment not to exceed $10,330 with 3 additional option years, 2020, 21, and 2022.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of these bills under our Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management Committee. Is there further discussion on any of the bills? Then seeing none, these bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills then, having received the legally required number of votes, are finally passed. Our final committee of the morning is our Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs. Our chair is Councilman Corey O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 2019, Report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for September 4th, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1955, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the East Liberty site preparation contract. Liberty Green located at 155 Larimer Avenue. Bill number 1958, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the A.J. Palumbo Center addition project, which will involve major interior renovations and the building's footprint enlargement. The building address is 1304 Forbes Avenue in the First Ward. Bill number 1959, resolution providing for the execution of a corporation agreement with the URA for the performance of certain work in connection with the 2019 to 2020 CDBG grant program and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $4,558,960. Council districts all. Bill number 1960, resolution authorizing a corporation agreement with the URA designating URA as the city's agent for administration of the 2019-2020 Home Investments Partnership Program. Council District all.
Madam Clerk, you've heard the reading and the title of the bills under our Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. Do we have further discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action, and all in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Aye. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kell-Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, no 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills then, having received the legally required number of votes, are finally passed. That takes us into motions and resolutions. The chair has some brief meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, council will enter into executive session on bills number 1937 through 1946 as they relate to professional services. Also today, 3 p.m. here in council chambers, we will hold a cablecast public hearing as it relates to bills 1910 and 1911 as they relate to vacating portions of Ava Street and South Euclid Street in the 8th Ward, 9th Council District. Also, council will be meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for our standing committee meeting, and tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. council will hold a cablecast post-agenda discussion on the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy partnership with the City of Pittsburgh. Also tomorrow afternoon, council will be holding a briefing on computronics with sessions beginning at 4 and 4:30 both. Is there anything else from council members? Councilwoman Kell-Smith.
Thank you. I just, I also want to mention that, I'm going to talk about the fire yesterday, but I mentioned that the administration's working in Sheridan, Elliott. I want to make sure people understand they're working in all of our 17 neighborhoods, including Station Square and Ferrywood and some other, Westwood and some other neighborhoods. So I just want to make sure people understand that they're working in every neighborhood, not just two, but two that have not seen investment for decades. So I want to make sure I say that part. Then I want to talk about, I want to thank Director Hisrick, Chief Jones, all the police, fire, EMS, DPW, the crossing guards, and the Red Cross and the community yesterday, especially the Sheridan American Legion, for coming together. We had a terrible fire in a church, Sheridan United Methodist Church, which holds two churches actually, Altar of God Ministries and the Sheridan United Methodist Church, but it also is a hub for the community. It has our after-school program, which I fund, which is the Sheridan Kids Club, which has about 40 kids. If it would have been one day later, that fire would have had a very different, could have had a very tragic outcome because the program starts today at the same time the fire took it. Right? So that program is now looking for, we're going to work and find a place for all the programs, and we actually have some offers already. But it also is the place where the community dinners happen. It's the place where the Sheridan Kiwanis meet, and they do a lot of great work in the community. It is also the place where the free store is, where we have free clothing store and different things for the community. It is really, I can't even tell you all the things that happen in that church. but it is a true hub for the community. But our firefighters and all of our first responders worked so hard yesterday, and it was hot, and you could tell that they were just exhausted working in the conditions, and the fire was a dangerous fire. It was bad. It was really bad, and the roof kept igniting, and they stayed there through the night because it was so bad, and it was right next door to a firehouse, thank God, because the response could have been even worse had it not been for the quick response of our firefighters. But Chief Jones and Director Hisrick were there, suited and helping right along with everyone else. But you could just see how everyone just really, I was so proud of the city of Pittsburgh, how they just worked like a well-oiled machine, from DPW and crossing guards to of course, our police, fire, and EMS, and there was a firefighter who was injured, so we pray that he's recovering nicely. He had an arm injury. We're praying he's recovering nicely. But the way the community came together speaks volumes about Sheridan. You see so much negative on the news, and you don't always see what Sheridan really is, and it's difficult to explain to people what they do in Sheridan. But yesterday, when that fire happened, the American Legion, Donnie Schultz, the commander, opened the American Legion up, and the community immediately started coming down with food, water, Gatorade, ice, anything they could to provide for the first responders and the parishioners of the churches, and a place for them to get to cool off, use restrooms, get something to drink, get something to eat. And businesses like Sammy's Pizza on Noblestown Road that used to be in Sheridan, they're now in Westwood, they donated tons of pizza for the first responders. And Sheridan Shop and Kitchen donated 20 cases of water, cases of Gatorade, bags of ice, unbelievable amounts of ice, making sure that our first responders and everyone from the city and the parishioners were taken care of. So I really want to thank the community for coming together and showing what Sheridan is really all about. And it's a picture that you can't capture on the news in a little segment, but just seeing how that community comes together is a place that tells you that Sheridan is still a really very worthwhile community and has a lot to offer, and it shows the spirit of Sheridan. And so I want to thank the residents for all that they did, but I especially want to thank all the first responders yesterday for their response. And thankfully they contained the fire, and hopefully we'll move forward. We know some way we'll move forward. We hope it's in the same location. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Councilman Burgess.
If I could just have a moment to, if council would indulge me, the petition to have a hearing about reparations is touching on an issue that I have spent most of my life, and certainly all of my professional career, trying to think through. We are in a season where there are a lot of people in various groups who feel they have been discriminated and mistreated. And I have never been a person who tries to discount the misery and pain of others. I think that I have taught this, that every time any female is disrespected and oppressed, if you look at domestic violence and things in our culture, it's awful, and certainly that population is aggrieved. President Trump now has a new group of people who feel that they are being mistreated, and he advocates for them. Certainly Native Americans and Asian Americans and our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters have a right to their feeling of mistreatment. At the same time, I think there is no denying that there also has been a historic, through racism and slavery, systematic mistreatment of African Americans in our country. And if you look at the consequences on any abject barometer versus education, socioeconomic, even the killings that are in these neighborhoods, you will see
an abnormal amount of pain in the African American community because of those historic trends. I also think that we as a city, although certainly we have a mayor who is more committed to openness and diversity of any mayor I've seen, and maybe any other public official I've seen, but we still have a city has not done enough to recognize or respect African American leadership. We have not, and but we are getting better. I thought a lot about, Randall Robinson wrote the book called The Debt. I also would suggest that you read the second book called The Reckoning. But The Debt talks specifically about, it is the most profound book on reparations, I believe, written. Randall's a great mind. And I've thought about this, a lot. There's a Bible verse when they came to John the Baptist, they asked him, "What then shall we do?" And Tolstoy wrote a book about it. When he looked at the Russian slums, he has a book with the same title. And I thought about, what then shall we do? What do we do? And I think the answer for me has been, I think we center, we can't go backwards. And I don't believe that we're going to give, dollars to every African American in the country. But what I have tried to do, and will continue, and actually have now gotten some criticism from doing, I have focused on trying to rebuild African American communities. In our city, most African Americans live in African American communities. And so I believe the answer to the question, at least in my career, and hopefully I want to lift it up as at least a way forward to many people, is as we reduce the violence and as we rebuild African American communities, that to me is the way we begin, not repay, but we begin to have more justice in our city, right? When communities like Homewood and Larmer and Belsuver and the Hill District and the North Side, when we begin to invest in those communities and rebuild them and put housing and stop the violence and new stores, when we transform them from communities of isolated poverty into mixed income neighborhoods, even though we will not see the difference, some of us in our lifetime, between our children and grandchildren, they will see a better day. And so I want to lay it down as to my thinking, as to what is my thinking and my motivation, as to what work I do and why I do it. I do understand there's a history, and that history is sometimes ugly. I have faced ugliness in my lifetime. I am old enough to have experienced direct, overt racism in my life, in school, in workplace, in shopping, in my community. I've been called all those names. I have experienced it directly. But my response is not hate, because I don't think it's helpful. I think it's forgiveness, and the path forward is by all of us working together to rebuild all neighborhoods. And so I advocate for every neighborhood. I think all of you will know that. I advocate for every neighborhood. The idea is not that you just want one neighborhood to do well. You want all neighborhoods to do well. Every neighborhood deserves to do well. And so that's the work. The work is to get to the place to work with all neighborhoods until all of them are transformed into great places to live, work, worship, and raise children in. And so I want to at least lay down my sort of mark, because it's been my career for 35 years. I have tried to do this work unashamedly, and for the last 12 years on council, I have tried to do this work to rebuild neighborhoods because I believed it was the greatest impact that our children and grandchildren would have, and I think it's right. And so I'll stop talking, but I wanted to at least, since we're going to have a public hearing, and I don't want to say this there, and we'll probably have this conversation over many, many weeks and months. I wanted to lay down, though, from my perspective as an old man on council now, and an old African-American man in the city of Pittsburgh, a public official, certainly what my thoughts are and why I do what I do. Thank you for your indulgence. I just wanted to sort of share my thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Anything further from members? I'll add very briefly, this coming Saturday, we will be hosting the 4th annual Walk for Recovery. Over the years we've had, I would argue, probably 6,000 to 8,000 people that have attended. You're welcome to come down and march with us. We meet at 10 a.m. We'll meet at the parking lot on Smallman closest to the convention center. We have a little bit different route this year. We'll end up back there as well too, but there's all kinds of events for families and anyone who wishes to come down and participate. But if you'd like to, please come down and join us. Councilwoman?
I just want to thank you very much for your work on that, because you also help the Onella Club, which is in my district, but you do a lot of work with them as well. So I just want to thank you for always making sure you're working on
Appreciate it. So hope to see you there. If there's nothing further, may I have a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Yeah, second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.